Briefing, The Economist and Press Freedom. Since 1986, The Economist has introduced the Big Mac Index, a lighthearted and engaging measure of whether currencies are at the right level. This famous hamburger has become a great tool for currency valuation tests due to its global uniformity and ubiquity. These same characteristics also make it a useful way to compare international wage levels. How many Big Macs can a typical worker buy with their salary? However, the state of press freedom in Azerbaijan is concerning. Over the past year, Azerbaijani authorities have arrested at least 14 journalists for their work, most of whom were accused of engaging in illegal foreign exchange trading and other charges. This includes Farid Melikoglu, a reporter for Voice of America's Azerbaijani service, who was detained for conspiring to illegally transfer foreign currency. This is seen as retaliation for his objective reporting. Despite the Azerbaijani government claiming that the country's journalism is thriving, independent media and journalists face severe repression. This highlights that press freedom remains a serious issue in the country. Meanwhile, global media organizations in the US are calling for the immediate release of Melikoglu and an end to the unjust persecution of journalists. Overall, The Economist's Big Mac Index reflects an interesting aspect of currency valuation, but the deterioration of press freedom in Azerbaijan underscores the harsh realities that journalists still face in certain countries. Both topics deserve attention and in-depth discussion. Briefing. On November 15, 2024, Time magazine reported the following important information. 1. The U.S. media group Gannett has closed its printing plant in Providence, Rhode Island, resulting in the loss of 136 full-time and part-time jobs. This closure is due to the special printing plates used at the plant being discontinued, making it impossible for the printing machines to continue operating. 2. This printing plant was responsible for printing several local newspapers, including the Providence Journal and the Boston Herald, as well as the national newspaper USA Today. These newspapers will be transferred to another Gannett printing facility in Massachusetts. 3. This move will not significantly impact newspaper delivery. Gannett stated it will work with its real estate team to determine the future use of the printing plant, but office space will not be affected. 4. This layoff is part of a series of job cuts by Gannett to repay its $1 billion debt. Previously, Gannett had already ceased printing 20 weekly newspapers and closed some newsrooms. 5. Meanwhile, the report also mentioned NFL star Travis Kelce's mother, Donna Kelce, sharing her views on her son's relationship with singer Taylor Swift. Donna noted that due to Swift's busy touring schedule, she may not be able to attend this year's Thanksgiving family gathering. In summary, this report covers various aspects of media industry layoffs, the transformation of the printing industry, and celebrity gossip, providing rich content and substantial information that is worth noting. National Geographic Magazine Briefing. 1. Discovery of the largest coral reef. The National Geographic Expedition Team has discovered the largest coral reef community ever recorded in the waters of the Solomon Islands. This coral reef consists of nearly 1 billion genetically identical coral polyps that work together like a single organism. This discovery is awe-inspiring and astonishing, reigniting respect for the ocean. Although the current condition of this coral reef is good, researchers remain concerned about threats from climate change and overfishing that endanger all corals. They hope this discovery will promote further protection of marine habitats in the Solomon Islands. 2. Disney's new strategy. Disney has rarely disclosed its performance expectations for the coming years to investors. By 2025, Disney's streaming business is expected to achieve approximately $1 billion in operating profit, compared to just $143 million this year. In 2026 and 2027, Disney's earnings per share are projected to grow by double digits, partly due to the expansion of new cruise lines and theme parks. This move aims to establish a new narrative for Disney on Wall Street, as the company's stock has struggled to keep pace with the overall market, partly due to uncertainty about its future. 3. Documentary, The Stanford Prison Experiment, Uncovering the Truth. The National Geographic Channel has launched a new documentary titled The Stanford Prison Experiment, Uncovering the Truth, which delves into this notorious psychological study. The film presents the entire six-day experiment through first-hand accounts from former prisoners and guards. The documentary also invites participants to revisit the experiment setting in an attempt to reach a consensus and uncover the truth of what happened back then. The film seeks to explore the motivations of the experiment's director, Dr. Philip Zimbardo, and discuss broader issues such as the power of human nature and perspective. In summary, these articles cover National Geographic's latest significant discoveries and reports, including the record-breaking coral reef, Disney's new strategy, and a documentary revealing the infamous psychological experiment. These diverse topics reflect National Geographic's extensive focus and in-depth reporting across natural sciences, business, and social sciences. 2024 Forbes magazine's Best Cities for Retirement, 3 cities in Oregon make the list. According to Forbes magazine's 2024 list of best cities for retirement, 3 cities in Oregon have made the cut: Eugene, Bend, and Ashland. This list emphasizes assessing the quality of life in cities rather than economic factors like housing prices. Eugene is praised for its rich arts and culture, outdoor lifestyle options, opportunities for audited courses at the University of Oregon, and delicious dining. Although housing prices and living costs are slightly above the national average, they remain within an acceptable range. Bend is dubbed the Disneyland for outdoors, offering abundant outdoor and skiing activities, as well as excellent golf courses and water activities. However, Bend's housing prices and living costs are significantly higher than the national average. Ashland excels in food, lifelong learning, outdoor activities, and arts and culture, particularly with its renowned Oregon Shakespeare Festival. Ashland's housing prices and living costs are also slightly above the national average. Overall, these 3 cities excel in quality of life indicators, making them ideal choices for retirement. While housing prices and living costs are somewhat high, they remain manageable, providing retirees with a vibrant lifestyle. Briefing: the impact of motherhood on women's career development. According to recent research, the impact of motherhood on women's career development may not always be as negative as traditionally believed. 1. In the short term, women do experience a motherhood penalty, where income temporarily declines after childbirth. However, 10 years later, their income can catch up to that of childless women, and even show a slight motherhood premium. 2. The research found that 15 years later, mothers' incomes can be 2 to 3% higher than those of childless women. This indicates that children contribute minimally to the persistent gender income gap. 3. This aligns with previous research findings, such as mothers in computer science receiving marriage and parenting premiums, and the gradual narrowing or disappearance of the wage gap for women in business and education from 1960 to 2010. 4. These findings may influence the direction of family policies and discussions on women's pay. If motherhood is no longer a barrier to career advancement, related policy recommendations need to be re-evaluated. In summary, the latest research indicates that the impact of motherhood on women's career development may not always be negative, differing from traditional views, and warrants further attention and discussion. November 15, 2024 briefing: Taiwan faces uncertainty in U.S. policy. Summary. 1. Following Trump's re-election, Taiwan faces uncertainty regarding whether the U.S. will continue its protection. Trump has stated that Taiwan should pay for its defense, which contrasts with the previous U.S. policy of strategic ambiguity. 2. China has significantly enhanced its military capabilities in recent years and frequently conducts exercises around Taiwan, putting immense pressure on the island. Taiwan must consider how to independently strengthen its national defense to counter potential military threats from China. 3. Taiwan produces 92% of the world's most advanced microchips, which could become a bargaining chip for Trump in negotiations with China. However, Taiwan fears becoming a pawn in these negotiations. 4. Taiwan's political leaders need to establish connections with influential figures in the U.S. business and tech sectors to influence Trump's policies. At the same time, Taiwan should strengthen its own defense capabilities, such as developing new weapons like drones. Overall, under Trump's re-election, Taiwan faces uncertainty in U.S. policy and must adopt multifaceted measures to safeguard its security and interests. The scientific community and the 2024 U.S. presidential election. November 15, 2024. Summary. After Trump's election in 2016, the scientific community began to engage more actively in presidential elections. During the 2020 election, several prominent journals publicly endorsed candidates for the first time. However, the situation for the 2024 election has changed. The pandemic is no longer the dominant issue, and public trust in science has declined. The article points out that nearly 4 years of democratic governance have made the American public more aware of the nature of leftist forces. 1. They do not care about ordinary people and neglect issues like inflation that affect livelihoods. 2. They hold extreme positions on issues such as gender and education, which contradict the values of most Americans. 3. They harbor contempt for America and its founding history, inciting dissatisfaction among young people towards the country. 4. They have caused chaos in foreign policy, such as abandoning Afghanistan and failing to prevent Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Additionally, the public has recognized that mainstream elite institutions, such as universities, media, and scientific organizations, are deeply entrenched in leftist bias. This awareness may be an unexpected benefit of the Democratic Party's victory in 2020. In summary, the scientific community faces a new reality in the 2024 election and needs to reassess its role and expression to regain public trust. Briefing: the editorial process and publication standards of Nature magazine. Nature magazine is a highly influential interdisciplinary scientific journal with a very rigorous editorial process and publication standards. 1. Publication standards. Nature only publishes highly original and broadly impactful research findings. Papers must report original research, and conclusions must be noteworthy and have interdisciplinary value. There are additional evaluation criteria for large dataset papers, technical papers, and treatment papers. 2. Editorial decision. The editorial team at Nature, rather than an academic advisory board, is responsible for the final decision on which papers are published. Editors make decisions based on review comments and their own judgments, free from biases related to specific disciplines or countries. 3. Review process. Editors first conduct a preliminary assessment to determine whether a paper is worthy of review. Papers sent for review are typically submitted to 2 to 3 independent reviewers. Editors decide whether to publish based on review comments and their own judgments. 4. Revision and resubmission. Editors may require authors to revise their papers based on review comments. If there are significant technical issues, editors may reject the paper but may also invite authors to resubmit. Authors can appeal editorial decisions if dissatisfied, but the chances of success are low. 5. Editorial processing. Once a paper is accepted, the editorial team further processes it to enhance readability and formatting compliance. 6. Publication and media. Before publication, the editorial office notifies authors of the publication date and coordinates with the media to ensure news coverage aligns with the publication timing. In summary, Nature magazine's editorial process is strict yet efficient, aiming to discover and promote the best scientific research and provide the highest quality content for the scientific community and the public. November 15, 2024 briefing: the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree and its emotional connection with New Yorkers. This briefing synthesizes content from multiple articles, highlighting the following aspects. 1. The tree selection process for the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree and the story behind it. Eric Paz, the horticultural supervisor responsible for selecting the tree, evaluates over 100 trees across 6 states each year to find the perfect one. This year's 74-foot-tall, 11-ton Norway spruce comes from Stockbridge, Massachusetts, marking the first time a tree from this state has been chosen since 1959. Paz builds good relationships with tree owners and closely monitors the tree's growth until the most suitable one is selected. 2. Paz's experience selecting a Christmas tree for his home. As a professional horticulturist, Paz also chooses a 6 to 7 foot tall Christmas tree for his home, preferring Fraser fir for its sturdier branches. He carefully checks the tree for freshness and needle drop to ensure its health. 3. The reaction of New Yorkers to Whoopi Goldberg's criticism of a local bakery. Whoopi Goldberg claimed that Holterman's Bakery in Staten Island refused to make her a birthday cake due to her political stance. However, local residents dismissed this as nonsense, asserting that Holterman's Bakery has always been friendly and that the refusal was due to equipment failure, unrelated to politics. Residents expressed support for the historic bakery and criticized Goldberg's comments as biased. 4. The president of the New York City Teachers Union criticized Democrats for implementing a congestion fee. Mike Mulgrew, the president of the NYC Teachers Union, criticized Governor Hochul and Democrats for introducing a $9 congestion fee a week after the election, calling it crazy and harmful to working-class people. He stated he would continue to pursue legal action to block the plan and accused Democrats of passing the bill in 2019. In summary, this briefing comprehensively outlines the tree selection process for the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree, Pa's experience selecting a tree for his home, New Yorkers' reactions to Goldberg's criticism, and the Teachers Union president's critique of Democrats. The content is rich, focused, and presented in a concise and fluent manner, achieving the goal of highlighting the most valuable information while succinctly summarizing the overall content. Briefing, remote work, company culture, and the rise of AI-driven enterprises. Remote work can enhance intimacy among colleagues. New research finds that remote work through video calls allows employees to gain a more authentic understanding of each other's personal lives, thereby enhancing intimacy among colleagues. This contradicts some companies' practices of requiring employees to return to the office. Managers need to weigh the pros and cons of remote work and formulate appropriate policies. Company culture is crucial for business success. Company culture is often reflected in underlying behavioral patterns, thought processes, and social dynamics, making it difficult for management to directly control. The article summarizes 8 different types of company cultures and points out that a suitable culture can help businesses navigate change and thrive during tough times. Leaders need to consciously cultivate and shape company culture based on business strategy and their own characteristics, rather than leaving it entirely to the HR department. AI-driven enterprises are reshaping the market landscape. AI-driven companies like Google, Facebook, and Alibaba are rapidly surpassing traditional businesses due to their algorithm-driven agility and learning capabilities. These companies have broken free from the limitations of traditional operating models, enabling them to compete in unprecedented ways. As AI models blur industry boundaries, companies' competitive strategies are shifting from professional advantages and cost, quality, and brand differentiation to new models based on business network position, unique data, and analytical capabilities. In summary, this article explores the challenges and opportunities currently faced by businesses from different angles, providing valuable insights for managers. Whether regarding remote work, company culture, or AI technology, businesses need to carefully weigh their options and proactively adjust to adapt to change. The history and future of Vogue magazine. Summary. The history of Vogue magazine can be traced back to the origins of fashion shows. Starting with Charles Frederick Worth, who first showcased haute couture on live models in the mid-19th century, fashion shows gradually evolved into an important stage in the fashion industry. After the war, Christian Dior's new look style sparked a fashion trend, bringing fashion from salons to the masses. In the 1960s, magazine reporting accelerated, and by the 1990s, models became household names. The internet era further integrated the public into the fashion circle. The venues for fashion shows expanded from small salons to significant landmarks like the Great Wall, Mumbai, and Rio de Janeiro. The development of fashion shows reflects the intertwining of fashion and culture. Editors hope that through this exhibition, audiences can personally experience the drama and creative allure of fashion shows and feel the influence of fashion on global culture. Finally, the article mentions that Vogue magazine invites renowned designers to serve as guest editors, fully utilizing their creativity to bring a fresh perspective to the magazine, reflecting Vogue's spirit of continuous innovation. In summary, Vogue magazine has witnessed and propelled the development of fashion history and will continue to lead the trends of fashion culture in the future. Briefing: Vanity Fair celebrates Eve Babbitt's literary legacy. On November 15, 2024, Vanity Fair held a celebration in Los Angeles to honor the literary legacy of renowned writer Eve Babbitt. During the event, several celebrities read unpublished letters and diary entries by Babbitt, including Divine Joy Randolph, Nicole Richie, and Elizabeth Olsen. These writings, filled with Babbitt's unique language style and emotional tension, offered participants a glimpse into the writer's inner world. Notably, actress Beverly D'Angelo delivered a powerful interpretation of one of Babbitt's diary entries, eliciting enthusiastic responses from the audience. Babbitt's sister, Mirandi, remarked that the event was very moving, excellently done, and very enjoyable, expressing her belief that Babbitt would have been pleased with it. For event organizer Analik, this has been a long and challenging journey. She began writing about Babbitt 14 years ago and spent 3 years persuading Babbitt to participate in an interview, ultimately resulting in a famous feature in Vanity Fair in 2014. Now, Babbitt's literary legacy is finally receiving the attention and celebration it deserves, and Analik reflected on how it all happened near the neighborhood where Babbitt once lived, which felt unreal. In summary, the event successfully showcased Babbitt's unique literary style and inner world to the public, ensuring that the literary legacy of this prominent 20th-century writer receives the recognition and commemoration it deserves. Briefing: On November 15, 2024, Rolling Stone reported on the potential Ukraine policy of the incoming President Trump. The article includes the following key points. 1. Trump has promised to end the war in Ukraine within 24 hours of taking office, which may force Ukraine to cede some territory. This could lead Ukraine to develop nuclear weapons and prompt other U.S. allies to seek nuclear capabilities as well. 2. Trump is assembling a pro-Russian team, including key positions such as Secretary of Defense and National Security Advisor. They generally oppose continued support for Ukraine, believing military aid to Ukraine should be terminated. 3. Trump himself has consistently praised Putin, considering his invasion of Ukraine to be a smart move. He may attempt to reach an agreement with Putin, but convincing Ukraine to accept it will be challenging. 4. If the Trump administration halts support for Ukraine, it will severely undermine Ukraine's combat capabilities and provide significant strategic benefits to Russia. This could lead Ukraine to seek nuclear weapons and inspire other U.S. allies to follow suit, jeopardizing the global non-proliferation regime. In summary, Trump's Ukraine policy could significantly alter the direction of U.S. foreign policy, posing serious implications for Ukraine and the global security landscape. The article highlights these valuable points and succinctly summarizes the overall content. November 15, 2024, Briefing: Wired Magazine's New Direction. 1. The outcome of the 2024 U.S. presidential election does not align with Wired's values, but Wired will continue to uphold independent and rigorous reporting while maintaining hope for the future. 2. Wired will continue to monitor the new government's policy direction and provide in-depth reporting on important issues such as privacy, artificial intelligence, and climate change. Additionally, Wired will keep offering engaging cultural, technology, and product coverage to entertain and inspire readers. 3. Recently, 2 hackers breached AT&T's Snowflake cloud service, stealing approximately 50 billion customer call and text records. This is one of the most severe data breaches of the year. 4. Research has found that AI companies like OpenAI, Google, and Meta have extensively used copyrighted content from premium media websites to train large language models without authorization or compensation. This has sparked copyright disputes with publishers. 5. Overall, Wired will maintain its independent and proactive reporting style in the new political environment, providing readers with comprehensive and valuable content. At the same time, Wired will pay attention to copyright disputes between AI companies and publishers, reflecting its concern for industry developments. Post-2024 U.S. presidential election political landscape. Summary: 1. Trump has been re-elected president, despite facing 2 impeachments, multiple criminal charges, and a felony conviction, he still garnered public support. 2. Trump's supporters believe that mainstream media is biased and distorts information about him, asserting that he is undergoing unfair persecution. 3. Economic issues are a key consideration for many Trump supporters, who feel that the economy performed better during Trump's term, while the high inflation during Biden's presidency is unsatisfactory. 4. Immigration is also a significant demand for Trump supporters, who hope he will implement stricter measures to curb illegal immigration. 5. Trump supporters believe that he has performed better than the Biden-Harris administration in areas such as foreign policy and security, asserting that he is better equipped to address China's rise. 6. Some Trump supporters view him as a relentless warrior capable of saving America from the radical left. In summary, despite Trump's numerous controversies regarding morality and democracy, he continues to attract substantial voter support, primarily driven by considerations related to the economy, immigration, and foreign policy. This reflects a deep division in the American political landscape, with significant uncertainty regarding future political directions. Briefing: the retirement of Supreme Court justices. Article summary. 1. Following Trump's re-election, some Democrats are quietly discussing whether Justice Sonia Sotomayor should retire so that President Biden can appoint her successor. 2. This discussion has rapidly intensified out of public view. Justice Sotomayor, who is 70 years old and has diabetes, is someone Democrats do not want to repeat the mistake of Justice Ginsburg, who refused to retire during President Obama's term. 3. Some progressives are calling for Justice Sotomayor to retire, but others oppose this, arguing that it is inappropriate as she is one of the most passionate and progressive justices, and now is not the time to lose her voice. 4. However, the timing for achieving this goal has already passed. Even if Senate Democrats wanted to emulate Republicans' swift confirmation of Justice Barrett, it would be challenging to complete before Democrats lose control of the White House and the Senate. In summary, this discussion reflects Democrats' concerns about Supreme Court seats, but the timing for achieving this goal has likely been missed, and Justice Sotomayor will probably remain in her position. Briefing: Fitbit developing sleep diary feature. November 15, 2024. Main content. 1. Fitbit is developing a new feature called Sleep Diary, which will be available to Fitbit Premium members. 2. This feature allows users to record their sleep patterns and note sleep issues through text or voice comments. Fitbit will utilize artificial intelligence to analyze this information and provide users with more personalized sleep recommendations. 3. The feature is still in development, and the interface is relatively simple. It is expected to launch around 2025. 4. This feature is similar to the Oura Advisor function in the Oura Ring app, which uses AI to analyze users' sleep and activity data to provide personalized recommendations. 5. Some users may be concerned about entrusting their sleep data to Google, Fitbit's parent company, due to privacy issues. However, studies have shown that digital sleep diaries have advantages over traditional paper versions, reducing human error and memory bias. In summary, Fitbit is developing a new sleep diary feature that leverages artificial intelligence to provide users with more personalized sleep recommendations, which could positively impact users' sleep quality, although it raises some privacy concerns. November 15, 2024. Foreign Affairs Magazine Briefing. Main content. 1. Renowned Russian historian Stephen Kotkin analyzes the potential impact of former President Trump's re-election on U.S. foreign policy. 2. Kotkin believes that Trump's unpredictability and volatility may bring changes to the situation in Ukraine. He suggests that Ukrainian President Zelensky should seek some form of reconciliation with Russia rather than continue to exhaust itself. 3. Kotkin expresses concern that the U.S. may not be able to cope with a potential military conflict with China due to a lack of sufficient manpower and industrial capacity. He calls for the U.S. government to undertake a series of measures, such as large-scale investments in vocational education and relaxing housing construction regulations, to strengthen national power. 4. Kotkin argues that while Trump has many unsettling behaviors and statements, he still represents certain deep-rooted cultural traits in America and should not be simply viewed as an outsider. The US needs to find ways to address new challenges while maintaining an open democracy. 5. Additionally, the report mentions the incident of Chinese hackers breaching US telecommunications companies and the government's response. In summary, this briefing focuses on some significant foreign and domestic challenges currently facing the US and offers unique insights from historical and cultural perspectives. It provides both analyses of specific events and an understanding of broader trends, delivering comprehensive and in-depth information to readers. Briefing: dietary advice is abundant, how to choose the best option. Article summary. 1. Social media is flooded with various dietary advice, from avoiding highly processed foods to diets aimed at improving hormonal balance, leaving people bewildered. 2. Fermented foods are touted as a universal remedy, but is it really necessary to consume large amounts of fermented foods to maintain health? 3. New discoveries in nutritional science have added to the confusion, as people attempt to adjust their diets to achieve specific health goals, such as reducing chronic inflammation and improving health and weight. 4. To help readers navigate this minefield, New Scientist magazine has launched a special issue exploring 7 major nutritional trends. 5. Research has found that moderate snacking is actually beneficial for health, and the widespread health effects of dietary fiber have been confirmed. 6. Overall, to escape the confusion of dietary advice, the key is to choose the most health-beneficial dietary approach based on evidence. Key information. 1. Dietary advice is abundant and bewildering, making it difficult to assess its true value. 2. Fermented foods and diets aimed at improving hormonal balance are receiving attention, but their actual effects require further research. 3. New discoveries in nutritional science have added to the confusion, as people try to adjust their diets to achieve specific health goals. 4. New Scientist magazine has launched a special issue exploring 7 major nutritional trends, providing readers with evidence-based dietary advice. 5. Research shows that moderate snacking and dietary fiber have positive effects on health, which is worth noting. Summary. In the midst of diverse dietary advice, the key is to choose the most health-beneficial dietary approach based on evidence. The special report by New Scientist magazine provides valuable information and recommendations for readers, making it worth paying attention to. Briefing: health matters more than weight. As more Americans become obese, some are turning to weight loss medications to shed pounds. However, new research shows that another factor may be more important for overall health: exercise. According to an analysis published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine, cardiovascular health is a better predictor of cardiovascular disease and mortality than body mass index, BMI. This study reviewed 20 studies involving nearly 400,000 adults from around the world. The research found that even individuals with normal weight but poor fitness have double the risk of death compared to those with normal weight and good fitness. Conversely, even those who are obese but fit have only half the risk of death compared to those with normal weight but poor fitness. Researchers believe that rather than focusing too much on weight, attention should be directed toward improving overall health. Exercise not only aids in weight loss but also enhances heart health, muscle health, and lung function. Achieving a basic level of fitness can yield significant health benefits. In summary, this research indicates that maintaining good physical fitness is more important than merely pursuing a lower weight. This offers a more practical approach to health improvement for those struggling to maintain long-term weight loss.